Welcome to Dominant Mets Nation, and we are almost ready to kick off the second half of our New York Mets season, our run to the playoffs. But we have a move. David Stearns has claimed Alex Young off waivers, and we're going to get into Alex Young because it's a bit interesting. It's an interesting pickup. I'll just say that. Alex Young is a guy who has potential, but there are big roadblocks to him being successful, and a bit obvious why the gentleman was on waivers and why he was just recently traded from the Reds to the Giants a few short weeks ago. So we're going to go over those roadblocks, and hopefully maybe David Stearns has identified some mechanical flaws. Maybe David Stearns and his team think that they can do something special with Alex Young. I sure hope so, but we're going to get into some of the details right now. Okay, so I mentioned before that basically Alex Young was traded to the Giants just a few short weeks ago. And the Giants did want Alex Young. So we're going to go through some details here. So basically, the Giants acquired him last week in a trade that sent Austin Slater and cash to the Reds. San Francisco seemingly hoped to pass Alex Young through waivers and retain the southpaw as a death option. But the Mets did not allow that to happen and will keep Alex Young on their 40-man roster for the time being. The unusual sequence leaves the Giants with no return of which to speak for Slater. Okay, we don't give a damn about him. Okay, Alex Young is 30 years old. He has pitched in 6 big league seasons, including a brief 2-inning stint with Cincinnati earlier this season. So we're going to get into why it's been so brief. The former second-round pick has a career 4.4 earner average in 264 innings and has fanned almost 20% of his opponents against an 8.5 walk rate. Not bad. Though he debuted as a starter with the 2019 Diamondbacks, Young has primarily been a reliever since that and hasn't started a game in 2022. And as we go on, we're going to realize why. Young didn't allow a run in 2 innings with the Reds this season, and he's been excellent in AAA in 24 and 2/3 innings as well. He logged a 2.19 ERA with the 23.5 strikeout rate and 8.2 walk rate between affiliates, Reds, and Giants. So in his stint in AAA this year, 2024, he has been dominant in AAA. The Southpaw has been shaky. Overall, he's been shaky in AAA with a 4.99, but that's throughout his career. This year, he's been good. Although that's a bit skewed because in AAA in 2018 and 2019, he had 2 crazy bad blowout performances. All right, so now we're getting to some important detail. This is a Young final minor league option year, meaning this is the last year that a major league team has the option to send Young down to AAA or any minor league affiliate. Next year and beyond, although Young is signed up until the end of 2026, in 2025 and 2026, the Mets have no option to send Young down. So this means that Alex Young would really have to impress the Mets this year in order to stay on the roster. Next year and beyond, he doesn't have any options, and that means he would be gone. Okay. Okay, so that's a bit of the backstory of, his career in a nutshell. Now, why is a guy like this available? Why? He's been dominant this year in AAA. Why the heck is he available? Okay, so here's the big if with Alex Young. Despite him being a so-called talented lefty, right? I'll give him credit. He's a talented guy, but he has something he's dealing with, it being lower back disc degeneration has been really the culprit in him not really being where he wanted to be in his career. So that's why he's been out for a significant amount of time. He had a rehab stint in AAA, as we saw, and that really kind of hurt his value. I mean, projecting him and his career in the next couple of years, you never know it. Lower back degeneration. But the thing is, in 2024, if we can capture a little bit of lightning, we're not going to ask for a lot. It'd be great if Alex Young can all of a sudden mechanically figure out how to take pressure off his lower back, stay healthy for the next 2-3 years. This would be like the steal of 2024, other than a guy like Jose Iglesias. I mean, if David Stearns has identified something that others have not seen, that would be great. And the fact that we just read before, the Giants, they traded for Alex Young. They needed to get a little cute, and they maneuvered. They put him on waivers, but they fully intended to put him back on the roster. Or, they fully intended him to be on the roster. So that's the thing. You had multiple teams out there that wanted Alex Young. So let's really go through his numbers and kind of break down what David Stearns could have seen. And obviously, since he didn't really pitch that much in the majors this year, let's look at some numbers from 2023 and figure this out. Okay, so this is Alex Young's Baseball Savant for 2024. But 2024, this means all these light shaded bars mean he doesn't really qualify for these stats to be official because he only pitched three games. But as we could see, all these light red bars indicate that in his 3 games pitched, he's been very efficient. But, like I said, it's a very small sample size. So 2 innings pitched to be precise. So we're not really going to break down that. Okay. So in 2023, he went 4-2, pitched in 63 games with a 3.86 ERA. In 53 innings, he struck out 50 batters. And I had to say, he had a pretty successful year. He did. He really had a pretty successful year. So let's look at his repertoire. So his repertoire, he throws 36% of the time. He has a 91 mile per hour average sinker. Then he has an 86 mile per hour changeup that he throws another 36% of the time. Then he has an 82 mile per hour curveball. And then he has a 91 mile per hour 4-seam fastball. So he's not a fireballer. He's a guy who works on movement. When he's spotting his pitchers and location, hitting his location, that's when he's going to be the most successful. And we see here, he throws a sinker 36% of the time. That automatically tells me that he must be more of a ground ball pitcher, especially when he's on his game. So him being a reliever, that's not a bad thing to induce ground balls, especially when you have a good up the middle combo with Francisco Lindor and Jose Iglesias. So that's not bad. But the thing automatically here that stands out in 2023, which is absolutely elite, and what you need a relief pitcher to do well, is their chase percentage. Chase percentage is in the 99th percentile. 99. So that means he is the best of the best at getting batters to chase. So that, in terms of maybe what was David Stearns possibly, what did he see in him? That is something significant. Crazy. Again, whiff rate, 77th percentile. Very good as well. But let's go back down to what I automatically insinuated. Ground ball percentage, 81st percentile. So just those 3 categories alone, which are very good, chase rate being elite, that is something in a relief pitcher you need. You need them to make guys chase after the ball. You need guys to induce ground balls at the end of games. This is something, these are things that I would look for in a relief pitcher. ERA, that could play to the fielders. If you have a good fielding team, that can affect your ERA. If you're pitching in a bandbox like Cincinnati, that can affect your ERA. I think an adjusted ERA outside Cincinnati, they're saying his adjusted ERA is 4.07. His real ERA is 3.86, which is not too much of a difference. But if he was pitching in a park like Citi Field, I would have to assume it would be lower. If he was pitching with a better defense, I would have to assume it would be lower. So fastball velo, we already know he's not a velo guy, 90.6. And since he doesn't throw the ball hard, his average exit velocity is 90.2, so that's a bit higher. But we have some good things that I like here, and good things that I see why David Stearns would just want to take a shot. We didn't give up anything for this guy. This is a good shot to take. Okay, so the Mets essentially did a couple very good things by getting Alex Young. So Alex Young, obviously, he was on the San Francisco Giants. The Giants, their team, not too far behind the New York Mets in the wild card chase. So you take a potential asset from one of your competitors and you put it on your team. You also prevent that asset from going to another competitor. I'm not saying Alex Young is a world beater. I'm not even saying he's going to be really good. I'm just saying that if he has any potential at all, at least it'll be on your team. Especially he's a lefty too. There's not many lefty options out there. Now, what I have here, and I got a key statistic I'm going to go over. As guys go older, as they develop, as they, get more mature, they often figure out what works best for them, their specific repertoire. So a guy like Alex Young, who doesn't throw the ball particularly hard, throughout the course of his career, you expect him to make adjustments. Okay, so if we look, I brought Baseball Reference here. So if you look at his years and how he has developed since 2022, he has been, you could consider an elite relief pitcher without the back disc degeneration. I think he would be hands down probably a top reliever in the game. So let's see why. So if you look at his Baseball Reference here, there's only 2 years that he did bad, 2020 and 2021. 2019 with Arizona, 7-5 with the 3.56. That's pretty good. 2022, he was 1-1 with a 2.36. That's elite. In 2023, 4-2 with the 3.86. Very good as well. Now, if we go down and we delve deeper into the numbers and kind of see like what really kind of changed, how did he develop? And one of the things that I noticed, and where is it? So if we go to 2023, and that was his last year where he actually pitched a great deal, we'll look at his fastball percentage, right? His fastball percentage. We already know his fastball isn't a world beater. It's a 91 mile per hour four-seam fastball. Back in the day, years ago, he would throw that 25% of the time, 25% of the time, 2021, 25% of the time, even 2019, 25% of the time. Okay, as he got older and he realized he had back issues in 2022 when his numbers started to become elite, he started throwing his fastball a lot less. Now, instead of around 25%, a quarter of the time, now he's throwing it under 20%. He's only throwing it 18% of the time. So in 2022, 18% of the time. In 2023, 19% of the time. You're like, you're probably thinking, oh, it's not that far, but 7-8% less than what you normally threw in your career. That's a significant less. That's less than 20%. 20% of the time you're throwing a fastball. So that means he is mixing up his pitchers more. He's relying more on his sinker. He's becoming more of a pitcher. So that is something, even though it's a small stat, that is things that I like to see. You like to see changes like that. Then if you look at his batting average against, you see other than 2019, his batting average against in 2023 looks to be the lowest. So guys aren't hitting the ball, don't have as high of a batting average. On base, same thing. Lower on base, 315. Same thing. Guys are slugging less. Guys have a lower OPS. His home run percentage, that's about the same. His strikeout percentage, it went up a tick. His walk percentage, that kind of is in the best. Besides 2019, 2019 he did great. He was phenomenal. I gotta assume 2019, that was when he was at his healthiest. Now he's got back issues, so now he has to adjust. I mean, his exit velocity has gone up since 2019, but these advanced metrics show that he has tweaked his repertoire and kind of show that there is potential right now. And if he continues to adapt and continue to, go into the, we have a pitching lab right now. So David Stearns and the Mets organization, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to develop talent. Even guys who are a bit older, you develop talent. Bottom line. So this is what we're hoping to do with Alex Young. And, I know this is a bit of a longer video, but, there was some potential here. So I'm going to end this right now. If you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Join the family. And I thank everybody for your great comments. It's awesome to read. Well, thank you so much and have a great day. And obviously, let's go Mets.